Welcome to video number 2. This time I've chosen bass viol, and I thought we'd look at some chordal playing. So I've chosen a piece by Tobias Hume. Hume is originally written in tablature, of which there are some really good facsimile editions. But if you don't read tab, you can do what I do and cheat. So there are some very good staff notation editions. This particular one that I'm using is published by Friedrich Hofmeister. It's edition number FH3146, the first part of airs by Tobias Hume. There are also some online editions. The piece I've chosen is called Love's Farewell, and if you check, again below the video, there's a link to an online version of this. It's not entirely error-free. There are a couple of curious notes in there, so do treat it with a little bit of care, but it is there and will get you started. It's one of my favourite pieces, I think, for solo bass. So here goes. So that's the first section. Some of the things that I think are important about chordal playing, and some of the things that I find people often struggle with, is that they seem to think that if you're going to play two notes or two strings at once, that you need to work twice as hard as you do when you're playing one string. But actually, if you think about it, when you first start learning, you end up accidentally catching two strings all the time. And it's not because you're pressing too hard, it's just because the angle that you've got the bow at is not accurate enough to catch one string at a time. So when you're playing chords, you don't need to put twice as much effort in with the bow as you do for playing a single note at once. Otherwise you get things that just crunch and don't speak particularly clearly. So I think that is one of my top tips for chordal playing, is just not to work too hard with this hand. Don't ever settle for a sound that is less good than the sound you would get if you were only playing one string at a time. And I think the other thing to think about, and in the first section of this, there's several chords that have the same number of notes in them, but I think you should spread them at different speeds depending on what the point of that chord is, and what you think musically it's how important it is or not. So the first one, got to hear the bass and set the bass ringing, but you've got to have plenty of bow left to play the top note as well, because it's the start of the melody, isn't it? So that is purely melodic. This, I'm more interested in the A than the rest of the chord, and we haven't gone anywhere from where we started, so that one really doesn't need to be terribly important. Time over that one. Just a sort of halfway pause for breath in the first phrase. What's next? Okay. Really important to hear that before you hear that, I think. Quite often you don't want the top two notes of the chord left hanging on, but I think in that case you really do. Maybe here. That's quite nice, isn't it? section. There's not so much chordal stuff in there, is there? It's a more single line section. What goes up must come down. In this case, what goes up must carry on up. Let's not hear one great big long line. So gradually, very slightly more bow per quaver as you head up that scale. And it's not really news, is it, where we've landed at the bottom? We were never going to go anywhere else. So there's no need for a great big crunchy chord at the bottom. Next section coming up. What's going on in here then? So we've got, it's a bit more athletic, isn't it? So you've got to get round those chords maybe a little bit more quickly, especially that one, because you've got a long way to go. But that's a bit more pensive, and it helps that it's a semi-breve. Then this, the melodic line, is there, isn't it? But here's the bass. And somehow you've got to spell both of those out all on your own as one player. So here goes with the melody, the bass, so here's the melodic line to start with, the bass, melodic bass line, take a breath. There's a lot of notes in that section, isn't there? There's a lot to get round. Places like just before the end, this kind of thing. I would spend some time just going backwards and forwards between chords. I know that in real life you only ever approach them in the direction that they're written in, but if you go backwards and forwards, just helps to train your fingers in the patterns that they need to find, and it builds up strength for chordal playing here. So that's a good tip. The other top tip for chordal playing is to start playing the bass note. Even if this hand hasn't decided where it's going to go next, you've got to be playing something while you're finding this hand's fingers. So you're thinking, but you're not letting anybody know that you're thinking because you've already started down here. And it sounds like you're just spreading a chord really elegantly, and what you're actually doing is buying yourself some time to work out what on earth's going on with this hand. So you can always start a chord even if you've only found the bottom note of it. So in places like this, it's a big chord. I was just looking for a few fingers. And then here is the stuff that I think you should practice forwards and backwards. Here's the next section. That's another one that's not so full of chords, isn't it? It's just got a bit of athletic leaping around at the beginning. The trick with that is to be speedy this way, but not use lots of bow that way. The more bow you use horizontally, the harder it is to get round cleanly. So you need to be small and put more energy into going that way than you do into going that way round. And the other thing is crucial to hold on to your left hand. So as soon as you've played that first D, the bow comes off it and you're heading for that bottom string, but you haven't moved your left hand. And I would definitely play a 4 on the top. The top string is, firstly, it's too far away, and secondly, as soon as you've played it, you'd have to come back again, which is a bit daft. So we'll 4th finger. Long line here. Convenient place to tuck a back bow in. Another long line here. Maybe think about it. I quite like this one to start, as though it hasn't quite decided where it's going to go yet. And it kind of gets surer of itself as it goes up the scale. Do hold these bottom notes down. As soon as you let that go, the sound will stop. Going on the final section. Lots of leaping about in this one, so just important that both notes speak cleanly and we don't hear any of this in between. Play the bass note. Worry about the top notes afterwards. This one, much more important than that one, I think. And then just relax. Hear the discord. And I think it's nice to finish with both of those top 2 strings sounding rather than around there. That's a matter of just personal taste. That would be okay, but I think think that's preferable. And there you have it, that's the whole thing. Good luck. As I say, one of my favourite pieces, so do enjoy learning that one. Maybe post your own YouTube videos of how you get on, and feel free to ask any questions. Happy playing!